What can I say about PAC Kayak rental? I have a camp right here on the water. In 2021, we had a devastating hurricane. Hurricane Ida came through here, and it wasn't really so much a storm surge problem, but the eye literally passed right over Pointe-a-Chan here at PAC Kayak. Just so many things were completely devastated down here, but it speaks volumes to how resilient the people are down here, that they were able to rebuild and rebuild very quickly. It wasn't just a month or two after the storm passed through that we were already coming back down here and trying to rebuild the dock and get this place back open. Got him. Whoa. Oh, he's a big boy. Woo! I mean, look at the size of that red. It's just fat.
Yeah, I'm about to hit the state line. Yeah, we travel like a freight line. Drop the kayak in and drop a bait down. We make it easier than 1, 2, 3. You want the tips, want the tricks with the ones to see. Ooh-wee! Come on. Cause everybody wants to fish, but can't nobody make the trips. But don't trip, cause we gon' make it when you can't miss out. Road trip angle, only thing we need is a route, no doubt.
This has been a long road trip, but it's been an awesome one. We started off in San Marcos, Texas, fishing freshwater rivers, and we moved to saltwater. And I will say that there's a special place in my heart for saltwater fishing, especially for redfish. On top of fishing multiple locations and traveling from Texas to Louisiana, we've also been doing the Jackson Kayak Fun Tour, and we hang out at one of our local dealers. PAC and Paddle really did a great job of getting that local community out to the shop.
PAC and Paddle is a traditional outdoor store with a little bit of a difference in that a very large majority of what we do and sell revolves around kayaking and kayak fishing. So we got a group of people together. We just invited the kayak fishing community to come out, just put on a fun event where they could connect and talk and chat and have fun.
We've had multiple partners kind of chip in, and one of those is Batson Enterprises. And they donated basically a rod kit for a custom built rod. So we were like, how do we come up with a way to give this rod away? And Richard brought a game that basically kept score, and you pitch a magnet into these cups. And whoever had the highest score won that rod. We are down at PAC Kayak Rental in southern Louisiana, and we're hanging out with John from PAC and Paddle, which is one of our Jackson dealers. I am excited to get on the water with him today because it's been a long time. It's a bit cold and the wind's blowing, so the water's dumping out of the marsh, but we're gonna try to find some hungry redfish. We got Michael Forenza and Richard Pitty hanging out with us too, so it's gonna be an awesome day. I don't know if I've ever been anywhere that has a launch like this. It is really perfect for a kayak.
We're out a place in South Louisiana called Pointe-a-Chan. It is a predominantly marshy area. It's brackish saltwater fishery that really excels in red fishing.
I've known John for a long time. He's the owner of PAC and Paddle. And one thing about John is that he has a passion for kayak fishing. This is one of the first times he's actually got to go fishing out of the NAR, so to have his input and feedback on what he thought of that boat was something that was long overdue for me.
I have to say, these boats are extremely easy to pedal.
It's faster than any other pedal drive you have in your store, because we've tested them side by side.
Because this is like, I'm pedaling effortless and I feel like I'm moving really fast.
We'll go around this point and then we'll go all the way to the back. And then we can let the wind and current bring us out.
There aren't that many people fishing shallow water, so it's perfect for a kayak. There's tons of places to go that aren't pressured by lots of motorized craft, which makes it a great kayak fishing area.
I'm standing up in the kayak and I'm looking for any kind of movement on the water, any kind of shadow, a fin sticking out, a tail sticking out, and I'm just wanting to see a fish and then try to present a bait to them in a way that they'll eat it. Look at these bubbles. Just bubbles. It's just bubbles coming up from the bottom. Sneaky, sneaky bubbles.
The biggest trick that I can share is what we call a sight fishing belt. When you do see a fish, that you clip the paddle in, bend down, lift the rod, open the bail, and make the cast, all in one quick motion without making any noise.
You can catch fish year round. The dark mud and the peat that's underneath this water retains more warmth. Rocks retain warmth. Even though it's overcast, you know, the dark is retaining the heat, and they're in here, they're moving around.
We had some hammers out on the water today. We had John, who I fished with before. He has fished inshore for years. And then Michael Forenza, who is a guide for redfish. Now, he was out of his element in the sense that he came over from Texas, but it didn't take him long to figure it out because he has an extensive knowledge of how to catch these fish. And then we got Richard, who has been following me this entire trip. Here he comes again with us right down here to PAC, and he actually got on the fish because that dude is fishing. Woo!
So Jameson's been doing a really good job of keeping me off camera for like the last 2 weeks. And now, you know why.
You know, on this show, I really felt like, I mean, and honestly, it's just Jameson trying to really push me to the back, not let me get on camera much, and really got to kind of, you know, peel the onion. Why is that?
Got him that time. Yeah. Just a fat fish.
I love how blue the tail is. This one's got pretty colors on his head too. And they're all unique. I love it.
One of the really cool things about South Louisiana in general, but also here at PAC, is that there's so much marsh. I mean, it's like 25 miles or so to the Gulf from here, and in between here and there is just marsh.
You know, Lafayette is called Sportsman's Paradise. We have more fish than anywhere else, and I believe that. It's very exciting. When you see them just bolt onto the lure, it's just like, wow.
There's not a lot of fish you get to see do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a unique thing with redfish.
Yeah, watching them eat is what's the fun of it, really. Oh, I broke a line. That gummit.
I haven't got it in front of him good yet. That's the one. Got him. Woo! Belly crawlers. Saw that fish all the way in the back of this pocket with its back out of the water. Be able to kind of sneak up in there and keep eyes on him, even in these overcast conditions. And in the net. It's awesome. Woo! Man, what a pretty, healthy, thick fish. I literally saw him swimming back there with about that much of his back out of the water. Made our way in there, super quiet, just kept eyes on him. Still took me 3 casts to get it in front of him. It's just been an epic trip, and I don't know if words can describe it. And I really finished on a high note. I caught a lot of fish today. Eats that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Coming down this flat, and I'm seeing fish feeding on the surface, like turning on their side to look at the water. And this dude crushed it when I threw it out, but he swam around my power pole and around my rudder and got all tangled up, and I just wasn't willing to lose this fish because these conditions are not easy. So I went in after it, and it paid off. Woo!
And I came around the point, and I see this much of Jameson standing in the water next to the boat, and I'm like, oh no.
Sometimes you just gotta get dirty, right? Well, I'm dirty. I'm real dirty. This trip has been up and down. It's a roller coaster of emotions. But it is time to hit the road, and everything must come to an end so that we can start the next trip. So I'm out of here. Road Trip Angler would like to thank our global partners for helping support the mission to get people outside and on the water.